The Expendables franchise has always been about huge star-studded cast, big explosions, lots of gunfire, and a mediocre storyline. Part 4 is no different. So after watching Expendables 4, I have some pros and cons to this movie. I know it's been getting a lot of flack online for being the worst of the franchise, but you know what? This is all personal preference and a lot of biased opinions. Here's mine. I think if you enjoyed the first 3 films, you're going to enjoy this one. If you didn't like the first 3 films, you're not going to like this one. It's going to be that simple. It does have another big star-studded cast, just like the rest. It does come through with lots of explosions, lots of gunfire, cool fight scenes, but it does still suffer from a lackluster storyline. Now, there are a few things in this movie that separate it from the third, so I got a little more invested than I think some of the other movies have done for me. But the problem is, it took too long to get to that point. The first half of the movie drug on, and I was bored, and it kind of opened up in the same way that all the other movies do, and I think for that reason, it felt like a lot of the same. I was bored. I wasn't sure if I was watching the first, the third, the second, the fourth. It all kind of like blends into each other. Also, if my voice sounds a little scratchy or weird, I've been really sick the past week and a half, so I do apologize. That's why I haven't gotten much content out lately, but we're going to fight through it. Now, I also want to say this is primarily a Jason Statham movie. It's always usually about the team and getting this mission done, but in this particular instance, Jason Statham is the front man. He is everything in this movie. Sylvester Stallone's character, Barney, he's not in the movie a whole lot for reasons I don't want to say because it's going to ruin things, but it's the reason why Jason Statham takes the forefront. And it's mainly the reason I was more intrigued in this movie than past movies. Honestly, if it wasn't for Jason Statham, I don't think this movie would have done well at all. He, in my opinion, #1 action star today. It used to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. They were the big action guys. Now, I feel like they kind of aged out of that. Jason Statham, he was always a close second. Now it's taken over. He is the action hero who has saved this movie. The rest of the team is like on the back burner. They're not that important. You really don't care about them that much because otherwise it's just the same old movie. It's like, how many things can we blow up? How many times can we shoot this guy in the head? All right, we stabbed this guy in the throat. I've seen all that in the other 3. Don't get me wrong. I like action flicks. I love seeing all the gunfire and the fighting and the hand-to-hand combat and the gruesomeness in which they kill people in this movie is a little more intense than we've seen in the other ones, but it's still a lot of the same. So we added a little more blood, we added a different scene in which they're fighting in, but it's still the same. Until one major scene happened, and I was like, okay, maybe this would be a great way to end the entire franchise. But then we get farther into it and we're like, all right, well, maybe I was wrong about that, and we're going to keep going with it. I was really confused. There's moles and there's backstabbings and people trying to create World War III and these big nuclear bombs and a lot of the same stuff you'd see in like Mission Impossible or another Expendables movie. I don't even know why I finished the movie. Like, I was invested, so I didn't want to waste my time, but at the same time, I felt like I was wasting my time. Now, there's some cool sarcasm that gets you a little chuckle here and there between team members and some punchlines that Jason Statham or somebody might say during a kill. And you think, okay, maybe this is almost worth it. But then that time passes and you're like, maybe it wasn't. I just wish they would have gave us something different. Is it really that hard to come up with a new script these days? I don't know why I was expecting more from this movie. The whole franchise has been plagued with mediocre rating. Guess I was just hoping for too much. I know this is going to be a short review, but there's not a whole lot I can say about this movie. I was bored. There wasn't a whole lot to it that kept my attention. A couple twists here and there that I didn't see coming. They were pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I feel like I wasted my time. It was the same as the other 3 movies. If you've seen it, leave your thoughts down below. Hit that like button and subscribe button on your way out. Hopefully they don't make a 5th.